with the fall colors setting in, how do you know where to go and how far along the colors are? I'm going to tell you my go-to guide for fall color watching. Hello again and welcome back to another episode of Wisconsin's Outdoor Explorer podcast. I am your host, Jason. And again, before we get started, if you haven't checked out our Facebook group page, go check that out. We're just getting it started and getting some people to come on in there, and let's start sharing some pictures and places and things that we're doing in the outdoors in Wisconsin. It's a great way for all of us to kind of communicate. We can talk about the podcast. We can talk about something you did over the weekend or some plans that you might have, or if you've got a question about an area. This is a great place to connect with others throughout the state and talk about things we're doing in the outdoors. Now, I've been talking a lot about changing of the season from summer to fall. And I've mentioned it many times how this is my favorite time of year. And it's such a great time to have a camera with you because you never know when you're going to see that one tree that just pops. And you all know what I'm talking about. There's that one tree probably that you noticed all of a sudden one day, and you grab your camera and you get a picture of it. And that's like the first sign that fall is really here. I just love capturing those beautiful colors that highlight our state with my camera. This is my favorite time of year to have a camera in hand. And even more so when I've got the drone. If I can throw my drone up in the air and get that overview of a forest that's just full of color, there's nothing better than seeing those fall colors from above with a drone. I haven't seen them in a plane, but I'd like to experience that too. Take a nice flight over like the Northwoods or something like that. And I think that'd be a really cool opportunity. So if you get a chance to do something like that this fall, go out and do it. But there's one question that I always hear most often this time of year, and it's, how are the colors in your area? And I know most of us enjoy these fall colors, but there's nothing worse than taking that drive out to go look at the fall colors and just realize the trees haven't fully changed or they're past their peak. So what's the best way to know how the colors are doing? That's what I'm going to talk about quickly today. It's one website that I found that has this figured out, and it comes from Travel Wisconsin. Now, their fall color report map is probably the best one I've found, and I use it every year. I've tried other ones, and they're just not as accurate. They're just not as good. And Travel Wisconsin really does have the best site for this. And to be clear, they're not endorsing me. They're not paying me to talk about this website. I just feel it's important to share the things that I do and use to help guide me throughout the state. And this is one of those things that I use. What's really cool about this site is it gives you a county by county breakdown. It shows you a picture of the state, and you can click on a county and it'll tell you at what percent of peak the colors are in each of those counties throughout the state. And what I really like is it gives you an estimate of time that the colors will be at peak. So if you want to plan a trip, it'll give you a time when it kind of predicts when peak is going to be. So for instance, right now, most counties up in the Northwoods area are like 10%. So that just means that the colors are starting to change, that you're still going to see a lot more green than you are color. But then it gives you that like 3 weeks out is when they think that those colors are going to be at peak. So it's really great if you're planning a trip and you want to make sure that you're seeing the most color that you can see during the fall season. What I also like about this site is that it goes even further by giving you email updates. So if you're somebody who can't check the site often, you can get email updates about where things are. It gives you some fall trip ideas, and what's really cool is it gives you areas they call selfie stands, which you can basically go and take a selfie with all this beautiful color behind you. So it gives you a lot of things you can do in the fall, and it's just a really great site. And like I said, they're not paying me to talk about it. They didn't even contact me to talk about it. It's a site that I use, and I think it's important to share those things with you. I'm going to have a link to this in the show notes. If you go on the blog page, I'm going to try to put up a link in the blog page of the actual site so that you can go and click on it there too. So it's a must bookmark site. And I recommend that you start checking it out now as often as you can, because the trees are changing. Like I said, they're at 10%. They can change pretty quickly now with the weather we're having. It's a little cooler weather. So we're seeing that change happen. I notice even the trees here in central Wisconsin, every day is a little bit more. So check it often. Start making them plans to get out there and go see peak color in Wisconsin. I know I'll be visiting it before I head out to be one of Wisconsin's outdoor explorers. Hey, I know this is a shorter podcast this week. I've just got a lot of things going on personally in my life, a lot of good things happening right now. So it was just a really crazy week for me, but I wanted to make sure that I talked to you about this site because I think it's a really cool thing that you can use, and I'm hoping most of you are using it already. Definitely check it out. You're not going to be disappointed. So thanks again for joining me. I'm your host, Jason, and I will talk to you again next week. Thanks for listening to the Wisconsin's Outdoor Explorer podcast. For more great information about being an outdoor explorer, visit our website at wisconsinsoutdoorexplorer.com. Be sure to check out the blog page and follow us on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.